And then the Four of Wands. This isn't bad at all, Libra. It looks like relationships are going to be really good for you guys. Okay, so the Ten of Cups being like your underlying or overall here, I kind of look at that as, what the issue is or where we need to kind of be. So obviously with the Ten of Cups, we're talking about getting back to a place, I think, for a lot of you where there's going to be happiness, overall happiness within your relationship here. And I think that, despite what you may have experienced in the past, this is otherwise a really good situation for a lot of you. Now, you are coming in with the Five of Cups, which is showing disappointment, being let down, being surrounded by, hurt emotions. But them showing the Two of Cups, I almost wonder if you're not dealing with a person here who is trying to understand you in the way that you're feeling. So for a lot of you, I almost feel like this is something new. How do I describe this? I don't have the feeling that there is a lot of history with the person that we're looking at here between you and them. I think that your Five of Cups is already pre-existing, because I look at the Two of Cups on their side and everything that's lining down, and it really looks like they're trying to come from, a place of understanding you, but absolutely wanting to have that connection with you. Now, where you meet, you showing the Queen of Cups, whether you're male or female, I kind of look at that as you getting back to a place where you feel a little bit more emotionally sound. Because I look at her as emotional well-being besides being, emotionally attached or invested. But the Two of Pentacles on their side, I think that you may be dealing with somebody who is having at least some kind of difficulty, like getting through to you almost. And they're trying to keep everything going, right? Because that's how I look at the Two of Pentacles. I don't necessarily feel like this person is being like too flexible to their detriment. I do think that there is a part of you that's kind of like opening up, but there, are clearly a lot of difficult emotions surrounding you in relationships, I think, period. And I don't know what it is about this person, but it's not an easy thing for you to open up to, I don't think. But I look at them as not necessarily them trying to figure out another relationship or keeping you and somebody else up in the air. I'm not seeing that. Not with everything that you have going on here. So besides that, though, you move into this place here with the Six of Wands and then looking at the Star. I look at that as, there's at least some victory for you moving forward, but then it's also realizing that, you're getting the recognition that you're wanting. Because a lot of times the Six of Wands can show that somebody is not giving credit where credit is due, and I don't think that that's the case here, not with the Star being there. I mean, look at it. This all looks really great. I don't get to see things like this very often. Now, for some of you, the thing is, and this is kind of how I feel about this. Like, I feel like I have to say this, but there's definitely a part that's like, no, that's not the case. That's not the situation here. I do think that, like I said, this is going to be a new situation for a lot of you, where you have somebody coming through out of a very difficult time for you, where you're not happy. Now, with the Queen of Cups, this absolutely can be about the person that you're dealing with. But, like I always say with the Queens, this is kind of like what we're internalizing. So you may be dealing with a water sign, male, female, doesn't matter to me. For that matter, I mean, you've got Aquarius showing up and you've got a lot of water going on. But anyway, I also kind of feel like I need to say, for those of you who are dealing with somebody where you have history, I think that there is definitely going to be healing of a relationship where there is no longer, this feeling of like not seeing each other's point of view. I'm not seeing anything here indicating that there's cheating or deceit or anything like that going on. Because you wouldn't be moving from, the Two of Pentacles down to the Star and you being the Queen of Cups and then moving into the Six of Wands. There would be a lot more difficulty moving out of that. But I look at the star as, this person who I think is really trying to see things from your point of view here. They're really trying to work some things out and get things back on track with you. And I think that you feel good about it. Coming out in future conditions, you have the Knight of Cups, the Fool, and the Four of Wands. The Fool is basically saying that, and I think that this is more so for you, that you're going to have faith with dealing with this person, and that you are going to get to a place where there's going to be that overall happiness with the Ten of Cups. But it's on you. You're going to have to take that leap of faith. The Knight of Cups, I feel like, is not so much the action that you're taking. I feel like that's kind of like what's coming at you. And I don't really see it as a bad thing here, considering that it moves you to the Four of Wands. So we're definitely talking about somebody who is coming to you because they want to create that kind of environment with you. Overall happiness, stability, something worth celebrating, can absolutely go toward, marriage. I like it. I think it looks really good. And I don't think that there's, any problem on their part in terms of wanting to get involved with you. I think it's the pre-existing conditions for you coming into this that makes it a little bit difficult. Because I look at this as you going, I'm not seeing this. I can't, there's been too much done to me. And here, there's kind of like this almost reevaluation of your emotions when it comes to relationships, right? Like you're looking away, then you're looking down, then you're looking straight forward, then you're looking ahead. That's kind of how I see this. And all the while this person is like, I'm right here. I'm like right here. But let's clarify here. And then Strength. And that's not bad at all. Wow, Libra, I rarely get to see things like this. Okay, so first of all, taking a look at, the Emperor. And with the Knight of Cups, I think that for you in terms of, even if something's coming at you as far as action with the Knight of Cups, it is about following your heart. But I think that for a lot of you, you want to maintain control over, what is kind of going on in your life and in your relationship. Not only that, but emotionally, right? And there's definitely a big feeling here of like needing to protect yourself. It's not like in a Nine of Wands type of way. But with the Page of Pentacles, I think that what's happening here is that, if there is like this offer that's coming through, like, I want to be with you, let's move in together, let's get married, things like that. For you, it's like, I need to be in control of how this kind of works out and how this plays out. But with the Page of Pentacles, then it's like, okay, that's fine. I understand that it's going to be a lot of hard work, because I always look at that as like rebuilding almost, right? But it's also about taking, the information that you have learned and using that to build something from the ground up, And of course, there's a lot of hard work, but it's good, right? Like this is being practical about how we're going to get to this place. But for you, it's like, I need to be in control of how that kind of happens, which I think is fine. But you get to, this point here where I think a lot of you are worried about, what is going to be taken from you. It's almost like I have nothing left to give, because I don't necessarily feel like this person is intentionally kind of keeping you out or out in the cold, not wanting you to be a part of things or anything like that, because they see that as the opposition. And with the Seven of Wands, there's definitely kind of a defensive nature. Like, no, stop thinking or feeling that way. That's not the case. I understand if you feel like there isn't much left that you can give, that you've had too much taken from you, because that's kind of what I get from this. But we're still looking at, like I said, here's the offer and you're getting back to, this place of stability. But then coming out of that with the Three of Wands and then looking at Strength, I think it makes it a little bit more easier for you after that kind of communication happens to go, okay, now I can kind of see, what I'm wanting or what I am expecting out of this. And I think it's a little bit easier for you to go ahead and say, okay, let's take the next steps. And with Strength coming out, this person is hanging in there, I think, right? Not in like a temperance type of way. I just think that, they're really trying hard here to make sure that, Things are exactly the way you want them almost. But I still see all of this as a really good thing, Libra. And I know that this isn't going to be for everybody, and I hate that, because you would think that the good ones would be. And it's funny how I feel that way about this one. It's usually the really hard ones. But this, like I said, I have the feeling that this is going to have to do for those of you who have not been in a relationship for a while. This is somebody fairly new to you. But I also think that they have, a pretty good understanding of where you're coming from and what you've been through. But I do ultimately like, where you're coming out at. And I do think that it's going to take, a huge amount of strength for the both of you to just kind of say, okay, let's go for it and see how things kind of go. I don't think it's that easy for you, though. I think that for you, you want like assurance. That's what I feel like looking at that. Like if I were to pull the soul trees, I would expect to see assurance to show up. And then the 8 of Cups. Yeah, and that makes sense to me. Okay, so here's kind of what I'm getting from this. I don't think that we're talking about a situation where somebody else is married. I don't think that that's where wedding is coming through. I think that this is literally where some of you are headed, or where a relationship may head to. This one, though, can also show that you're just trying to take the relationship to the next level, but something is definitely happening between, you and another person here. So you start off with it, and this, I think, is probably going to progress a little bit further than October, because, and I'm looking at the cards and looking at a time frame, and I feel more Aries than Capricorn, honestly. But anyway, so the way that I'm saying this is, you come into this where, there is like this getting together with a person and realizing that the both of you feel the same about each other. That is the 3 of Wands. Like, oh my God, I didn't know you felt that way. And that is where the connection starts. But with the Emperor, you're talking about either you or the person that you're dealing with, but I think it's the other person. I don't necessarily feel like this is you, Libra. With the Emperor, I look at that as the other person is maybe like a little bit too overly full of passion and energy. And the problem is that you're going to suffer a burnout. And that's exactly what's happening with the 7 of Pentacles. So then with the Devil being there, that's just purely lust and sex, and that's it. There's no substance other than that. And that would make sense that that's kind of where you move to if you're talking about somebody who comes in all hot and heavy to begin with. But it's interesting to me that this is a situation that's going to lead you to, a very long relationship looking at wedding, right? So the 7 of Pentacles is about laziness. Somebody who just, is getting lazy in the relationship and isn't making a lot of effort anymore. Other than, wanting to have physical contact looking at the Devil. But then you move out with the 3 of Pentacles. And the 3 of Pentacles for me in this deck is always about needing a little bit more warmth, a little bit more love, more than the physical. I need more of that. We need to work on that. And then you have the 8 of Cups, which makes sense to me. So I think that this person is definitely trying. I think that they're seeing where they're failing. But I also see this as you, like, I'm still here, but you need to back off a minute, right? Because I want to make sure that things don't go back to what they were. They're trying, and then that's basically what it comes down to. I feel iffy, though, about that Knight of Cups. But to me, it kind of makes sense, though, looking at the Devil. So let's go back to the 9 of Swords. Now, the reason why I said what I said is because the 9 of Swords and the 3 of Cups, those two specifically in this deck, like I've always said, has to do with getting back together. One is more easier than the other. Clearly here, the 9 of Swords is difficult. There are things that need to be talked about. There are things that may still be going on in your mind that have not been dealt with. It's like we went through a really rough breakup and now we're looking at getting back together, but it's not that easy. It is not that easy. Now, on the other hand, though, I mean, this could very simply just show that there are a lot of things going on in your mind, but, very clearly for me, this one shows that there was a lot of, tension with you and this person in the past. So this isn't an easy decision to make. It's not an easy thing to kind of work through, right? Regardless of the fact that there's still, these emotions between the two of you, there's something else going on with this person. And I kind of worry about that with the Knight of Cups, but it's not a definite, they, were cheating or anything like that. But I think that some of you may be worrying that, especially with the Nine of Swords being there, that their, inability to do anything else with you other than, physical action is going to make you think that, they're just looking for, the constant, like, encounter, especially with the Devil being there, right? Like, that's all they're looking for. Those are the situations that they look for. I constantly need to have that kind of like filled, Now, I think for you, it kind of catches you off guard, though, that they're acting this way. I really do think that for a lot of you, there's a reason why you're looking at them as the Devil. And that may be because of past experiences, but the way that they're acting, though, and then you falling short everywhere else may, kind of like throw you off, like, okay, I'll get involved, but, and that's kind of where that comes out here with the end. So with the Four of Pentacles, this is about trying to get the passion going, right? But somebody else is like, meh, it needs to be better. And I think that that's why a lot of you, I feel like, are the Eight of Cups. Like, you're going to have to try a little bit harder here. And it's not that you're not willing, but you're needing more. You're needing more from them than just the physical. But like I said, I don't know. I feel a little bit iffy about that Knight of Cups. I really do. But regardless, though, you come out and okay. It's okay. It's not bad. But I think that you're dealing with somebody that's like constantly hot to trot. Like, I don't know how else to put that between those two. The Knight of Wands and then the Hermit. And I think that for a lot of you, it's like I need to kind of take a step back and figure out what I want. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha. So the way that you come into this with the Nine of Wands, this to me is like somebody needs to get in there and fix something before it's too late. And with the Ten of Swords, you could be definitely dealing with a relationship with a person where you're not really sure what you want out of this relationship or what you want for yourself, especially if you're dealing with somebody who created a really difficult ending between you and them. But it does look like they're trying to come in and fix it. Like, I need to fix this. Like, I feel like you're important to them looking at this. But I think that for you, it's easy to kind of like say, okay, and like sidestep what may have happened, where things may have ended with this person, where, things may have been really painful for you. Because looking at the Two of Cups with the Knight of Wands, yeah, you're kind of like swept up and let's go. I'm okay with this for now. Because with the Two of Cups, there's definitely the emotional connection, the understanding there. But, very much a love in this relationship. But the Knight of Wands is like, I'm not even thinking about it anymore. Let's go, right? It's immediate action with passion, right? Now, you, though, I think take a step back after that. Like, that's okay, that's fine, but it puts you in a place where, you're really needing to think about what you want from this relationship besides that. With the Two of Wands, you're stepping back, and I need to know you, you need to know me, So with the Two of Cups, that's great that there is the emotional connection, but let's get, to where we really truly understand each other. That's kind of how I see the progression here. But then you take a step back big time here with the Hermit. I look at the Hermit and I think it's not that you're wanting to be left alone, but especially with very soon, I think that it's you needing to really look at what you have with this person, and is that what you want later on, So I don't really see anything bad here other than the fact that there was a very difficult and painful ending between you and this person. But like I said, there is importance there for them. You know, you are important to them. Whenever the king or queen of cups kind of shows up for me with this, I always look at that as there is a lot of love, a lot of love, a lot of, you know, this kind of emotional romance. You know, it's not all physical and full of passion. I don't doubt that you have a love for them you. But I do think that, you know, kind of after getting caught up in this whirlwind, there is a step back, like I said. And it starts here with, you know, the Knight of Pentacles. So there may be at first here this feeling that, yeah, I can trust now, or at least I need to trust, especially if the truth is coming out about why things ended the way that they did. So then you move into this place where you get caught up in everything. There's the connection. But with the Knight of Pentacles, you're talking about like, okay, I'm okay. I don't want any more from you, but like, I'm still, you know, here, right? Like, so the friend zone, you know, but you're like, that's really nice, but I don't know that I need that. And I think that that's where you're like, I don't really need this from this person. I want something that's going to be more. And I think that that's what you're kind of thinking about here. But I also feel like emotionally, there is like a pull toward this person. There is a love there, or them, you. But I think that, you know, you're looking at everything that you've experienced with this person. And like I said, what you want to see in the future if you're going to continue to be involved with them.